Well, hello everybody, it's Richard here. It's Sunday the 28th of March and it's just coming up to 11 o'clock, and one of the things that I forgot yesterday was, of course, in the United Kingdom here, of course the clocks go forward. So of course, consequently, I lost an hour's sleep last night, but luckily not too late. I think I woke up about the fact that about 10 o'clock last night that the clocks need to go forward. So it's been an interesting time setting all the clocks in the house, and I'm sure there's one or two things that are going to get forgotten. Funny old anomaly is the word I'm looking for in this country. Personally, I think we should stick to the usual European time, and like everybody else, I've never been to a country where actually their clocks either go forward or back, depending on the seasons, as it were. And of course, it's the history behind this. Of course, it's done for our friends in Scotland, where the lighting is much worse, and they need to be getting their animals in. At least that's the argument that's being put forward. I have to say, in the governments, both parties, the Conservatives and the current Labour government, are considering whether they should change this thing. This debate's been around for decades, and obviously it's not much on the political agenda. But personally, from a personal perspective, I think it would be better if we all stuck to one time, personally, because it's your body clock gets out of sync, and then everything has to change again. And lo and behold, before you know where you are, it's time for change again. Anyway, I ramble on. Today I thought we'd concentrate on Mr. Marconiphone and the bits that are going on there. But before then, I just thought I'd mention, just blow my nose, Charlie Gillett. Now, Charlie Gillett, for those of you who know about music, here he is. This is the obituary from the Daily Telegraph, dated Friday, March the 19th. And Charlie Gillett, well, a great guy. He's passed away. He's died at the age of 68. Was a DJ, music journalist, author, manager and publisher, a popular, highly respected and influential figure of the British music scene. And he was one of the foremost champions of what became known as music world. Now it's interesting because Craig mentioned him. You remember I mentioned Craig yesterday as one of the YouTubers on his channel, and he does a lot of this sort of stuff with music books and that, and he's really got me interested in this area, so much so that I looked up, here we are, making music. Remember I mentioned this yesterday, the guide to writing professional recording. There's a reference in here to Charlie Gillett, and about the post-war black, white, rural music, in Charlie Gillett's words, the sound of the city. So he was one of the forerunners. We've got Jerry Lee Lewis in here, and also Sun labels. I was reading about Sun labels this morning, about the forgeries that are around with the Elvis discs and that. So interesting bit, you know. Another reason really why these have a link, these things. So I thought today I'd share that with you this morning. The other thing is that I thought I'd share with you, I mentioned yesterday, or the last video, part 2, this is really part 1 of a fresh session really, so about the demagnetizer, get it right, Richard. And I thought I'd just show you this. Probably some of you have already seen these things, but they're quite a little handy thing. Here it is, here we go. So someone kindly said it looked like something else, but we won't mention that on the airwaves. The red tip bit, you plug it in. There we are, there's a British plug here. Plug it in, and it's basically inside there's an electromagnet which has a pole in the centre, which is the core, and that then magnetises the complete thing, and then you touch the tape heads or cassette deck heads and then pull it away at a meter, being careful of course not to get your watch in the way at the same time. And then obviously clean them afterwards. I was doing a good bit of cleaning with some head cleaner, proprietary head cleaner, and then once you've done that, you know, leave it to dry in the open air for a while, and then test it with a tape or cassette, and it seems to work quite well. I've been quite impressed actually with my demagnetizer for Roy, and I kept the little notes in there. Now, we've got just under 5 minutes left, according to Mr. Metric clock on the wall there. I thought perhaps I'd just talk to you about what I was up to yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, I took an opportunity to get Mr. Marconiphone working to a certain degree, that is. So I'm just going to take the camera off the perch there and show you what I'm actually doing there. So and then you can see I might be able to do something. I might be able to reposition it. So let's just have a go, shall we? Let's see, where are we? There we go. There we go. Let's see whether we can do that at all. Right, you can see there. Okay, if I can see, right, okay. Right, you can see there that we've got the amplifier. Now yesterday there was a bit of a faux pas actually. This surge protector here is a 500 milliamp, or microamp should I say, microamp protector here. It's not a mega amp, as I said, so I make that mistake. I must make sure that note to self is to put the brain in gear before you engage the mouth. And it's these areas here are shielding. Now these are shields around here to protect the from the motor, I would assume, and also they're acting as a bit of a heat sink for the transistors on that particular part of the amp. The amplifier is in two stages, so you've got the right hand side and you've got the left hand side there. Okay, now the bit that's interesting, of course, is the bits that I was doing yesterday to the motor board. Now let's have a look. Now you can see here, I can carefully do this, I actually degreased, because all round here we had some really lovely sort of stuff that was sort of caramelized of grease really. So I've taken all that off, and what I've done is I've re-greased, and also using a solution. I use a solution of very fine graphite oil and Teflon base oil, which I mix up, and you can see there in that crucible, and then I paint it on literally using you can see that, a paintbrush. There we are. There we go, because I'm upside down. There we go, paintbrush. And I did literally just painted on all those areas, so you can see that there. Now one of the things I did yesterday, the turntable wasn't working at all, so I took the opportunity of actually taking the motor apart. Now there's two securing screws on here, and under there, those two there, and then underneath here, inside here, there's like a gable which it fits into, and that moves. That allows the core to move, if you like, the armature on there to move. So I gave that some oil as well, and from the other side, and consequently it's actually running noiselessly now, so whereas before it wasn't even engaging with the other side of the disc, you know, the turntable. Okay, so time's up, so I'm going to have to do part 2 of this video. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.